Let's move on to Justin Fields, Chicago Bears, new chance at life. What's his name? I already forgot. Oh my gosh. Mitchell Trubisky 3.0. Trey Lance comes in to revitalize that franchise. He fell in draft. What's that?
Justin Fields. You said Trey Lance.
Oh, sorry. Justin Fields. He fell in drafts, right? He was up there with the Trevor Lawrence talk for years. These two were, combined pair at the hip, 1-1 of who was going to take off and be the next prodigal son. Well, Justin Fields fell off in the draft. He fell to the Chicago Bears, who traded up to get him. But with that being said, right off the bat, this is a guy who may not start week 1, but I think is very more likely to start week 1 than someone like Jimmy Garoppolo. And we could talk about it a little bit here. I think he has the highest potential of anybody this year for redraft purposes. I just think that Matt Nagy's finally found that guy for his weird-ass system that he runs over there. Justin Fields might be that fit. Allen Robinson gets a bump for me. Darnell Mooney finally gets a chance to shine. Tariq Cohen coming back healthy. David Montgomery coming off a hot end-of-the-year stretch. I mean, there's opportunity here, and not to mention the guy can run. So I like it if he starts week 1. He's a guy, just like we talked about with Trey Lance, who I'm keeping an eye on. I'm examining the situation from a distance. And if that situation arises, I'm spending a lot of fab, or I'm making sure that I put my waiver priority in on Justin Fields. I think he's a league winner at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people have slept on him. Jacob, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, outside of Lawrence and Wilson, I think he's the guy who's going to see the field as a starter first, Justin Fields. With Justin Fields, I thought the Niners could have taken him going into the draft, but they obviously went with Lance. So it really depended on landing spot for me. And I love this situation. I just feel happy honestly, because for Bears fans, they're always just so down on their team. And they're always just well, we have Trubisky and Nagy, and we're just don't like watching our games. Now they have some glimmer of hope with Justin Fields. And I love this. And it's if Justin Fields comes out and is killing it right away, suddenly Robinson wants to sign that extension, and, they're looking good. So I really like this. And I wish I was in, we're in our dynasty league. I wish I was in a position to grab Justin Fields because I really like the upside. But it's looking pretty good. So if I was for redraft purposes, I would actually, rather take Fields than Wilson in redraft.
I'm glad that you bring that up, Jacob, because let's just say in a perfect scenario, all 3 of these guys get the start at the regular season. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Trevor Lawrence. I've talked about Trevor Lawrence, and I've talked about Zach Wilson. I think they're top 20 guys, but I think they're finishing right at or near top 20. I think Justin Fields, easy top 12 QB, maybe top 14 if I get a little weak on him. Joe, are you hot or fire for Justin Fields? Actually, wait, because Justin, I said you were going to go first, and then I gave it to Jacob. He's over here shaking his head. Justin, what are your thoughts?
I couldn't disagree with you more.
Let's go. Come on. Tell me what you got.
I mean, I wager to tell me who he's going to beat. I don't even know if he's in the conversation of going to be able to have offensive output like Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr, let alone be top 12. That's really steep.
So are you you high on a guy like Jalen Hurts, who you own in Dynasty?
I'm super high on him in comparison to him. Not only do I think their offense is better, but I think he is the starter, let alone maybe have to wait behind Dalton for a while.
I'm saying if these guys both start the regular season, are you high on – are you taking Hurts or are you taking Justin Fields?
I would take Hurts regardless, just the better situation for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. But, Justin, I think – so you're saying that you don't think Fields is going to be the starter this season?
No, I think he's going to outplay him, but I don't think you sign Dalton to let him jump to the Wolves. I think you give him a quarter season or a little bit more, and then you can put him in if things aren't going as expected. But I think it's a win-win for the Bears in real life, but I don't think it's a fun fantasy situation because who's a better quarterback to mentor somebody than Dalton for a first year that's on the cheap? So I think that's why they brought him in. I don't think he's long-term, but he's definitely going to start. That's what I think, unless he just goes crazy in training camp and preseason, which could be the possibility. But to go back, I take Hurts over him.
That's fair. I mean, I don't dislike Hurts. I just feel like I think Fields has a better arm. I think he's more accurate. I think he's less of a scrambler, but can run. And I like his upside a little bit more.
So in a redraft, if you punt QB and have to take it last, and you have, I don't know, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Fields, you would draft Fields over those guys?
I would draft Fields over those guys, hands down.
Well, if I knew he was going to be the starter,
if we knew he was going to be the starter, look,
even if he was
rankings,
a starter, let's say he is a starter, you would take him over. Interesting,
100%. Joe, we'll spend a little bit of time on you. What do you think about the man, Justin Fields?
I'm going to make a bold, not so bold prediction. Just is the opening day starter in Chicago. Matt Nagy and what's his name, Ryan Pace, the GM.
They're under a lot of pressure, folks.
Dude, they've been on the hot seat. People can talk about Fields dropping and falling. The reality of the situation was it was always going to go down like this. The top three were going to be quarterbacks, and then the next quarterback was either going to go to 9 at the Broncos or possibly they were talking about 15 at the Patriots. So we already knew somebody was going to fall, right? 11 is not falling for a quarterback. That is a great pick. You're talking about guys like Jamar Chase that went above him. You're talking about guys like what was his name? The generational tackle. You know, it's not like we're talking about like scrubs that went before him. He was the number 11 pick, and the Bears moved up to secure him. So there is pressure day one for this to work. And Matt Nagy, his job is on the line, and he's not going to put his job on the line for Andy Dalton. He's going to do it for Justin Fields because that's his guy. And, you know, whatever. They went out and spent money on Andy Dalton, and that's a sunk cost, guys. You can't get out. You can't stop what happened. They didn't expect to be in a position to get Justin Fields.
Joe, let me ask you this. Do you think this situation could work out how the Miami situation worked out last year?
No, because I don't even
Patrick and Tua.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is number one better than
Andy Dalton now. Not maybe 7 years ago.
That's first. And second, I think that Miami situation was very interesting because Fitzpatrick had already started the year before and done decent. It wasn't Fitzpatrick's fault they were bad. They just had a bad team.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a different situation. I think we might see Foles or Dalton even, you know, I don't know. We might see them on the move sooner than later. I can't imagine a situation where they move up to go get Justin Fields as number 11, and then they say, you know what, now we're going to roll with the Red Rocket. You know, we paid him $10 million. It's not like they're paying the guy $40 million a year to be the starting quarterback, and then they drafted somebody and they're just benching Aaron Rodgers for Jordan Love. This is Andy Dalton. This is a guy who's basically, 3 years away removed from being a starting quarterback. So he is a backup, and Justin Fields is their starter. I was surprised that the Broncos passed that quarterback, and it leads me to think that they think that Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers is in their future, and that's
so risky.
It is, but it's like
unless they have like an agreement already, and they're just waiting for June 1st. You know,
exactly. I mean, and the situation is, dude, those two guys, Deshaun Watson and. Like the Broncos are ready to go. They're ready to compete for a championship with a star quarterback. So, like, do you take a Justin Fields and then say, no, now we're not in the market for Aaron Rodgers? No, you don't do that. But if you take a Justin Fields and then Aaron Rodgers comes in, now you have that same situation where Aaron Rodgers is like, dude, get rid of this guy. I don't want another Jordan Love behind me, you know?
No, so, that's true. I mean, I think if they would have drafted Justin Fields and that happened, they probably would have sent Fields to Green Bay.
Well, maybe, but
if that was the scenario, but didn't happen.
I've heard some stuff where people say that Green Bay likes Surtain, and that's why they took him. Now, I don't know. I don't think you draft a guy for them when you're going to make a trade a month from now, because that's way too risky. I think you pick a guy that you're comfortable with and say, listen, if you like him, he's on the table. But if you don't, sorry. You know. But back to Justin Fields. He is, I agree, out of the gates, the number one quarterback for a redraft because he has rushing ability, he has passing ability.
Over Lawrence?
Out of the gates.
We're going to be ranking them very soon, guys.
Listen,
we're going to be ranking them very soon. Joe, finish it up real quick.
I think Jalen Hurts is his floor. right?
Thank
Jalen
you.
Hurts played
That's his
3 games.
floor.
What's Jalen Hurts' floor? I don't even know. Why? That's not fair to say.
Jalen Hurts is what we saw last year out of Jalen Hurts is Justin Fields' floor. And Jalen Hurts was a good fantasy quarterback.
That's
Now,
that literally Jalen Hurts' floor. He's never played before
maybe
that. What
is
are you
that his
talking
floor?
about?
How's that his floor though? We don't know
He's
what
never
his floor.
played any worse or better. He's had 3 games to play.
No, I'm
All
not
right.
saying. I'm not saying
Look.
that. I'm saying that what Jalen Hurts did last year is Justin Fields' floor. But Jalen Hurts could get better. That's not
Oh,
to say
yeah.
that he might not. I'm just saying if I had to pick one of those guys, especially in a dynasty, I'm taking Justin Fields.
Man, when Justin rosters a guy, they're the man.
No, it's not even that. This is like philosophical, logical, context. Like, how could you say someone who's played 3 games is a rookie's floor who was a rookie last year? Like, it doesn't make sense.
What do you mean? No, because
How
I'm
would-
not
how
saying
would
that that's Jalen
All
Hurts
right,
anyway.
gentlemen. Order
I'm
in the
saying that
courtroom.
that's Justin Fields.
We will
floor
battle
is
it
what he
out.
did.
We will battle it out in the weeks to come. We'll have literally shows dedicated to us battling our point of views on certain players.